Hey, welcome back. My name is Manoj, your host, and this is the RareErth podcast. Let the conversations begin. Alright, guys, I'm back after a long gap. And if you've been waiting for the next season of the RareErth podcast, thank you so much. Season 4 is finally here, and I could not have asked for a better person to open this season with. Harsha Venkatesh. He's a close friend. We hang out, we talk about ideas, and I am so thrilled to have him join me on this opening episode of this season. I wanted to actually sit with him in a more formal setting and really explore how his mind works, because Harsha is one of the few friends that I have who's very well-rounded and is a deep thinker. So on paper, just to give you a little bit of his background, he is an investor who runs Dwait Funds. It's a SEBI-registered portfolio management service. He is the co-founder of Zepco Technologies, a company building indigenous drone motors and power electronics for defense and EV applications. And most recently, he co-founded along with his friends WealthNest.ai, an AI-powered family wealth management platform. So that's a lot of things that he's involved in. So before all this, he spent over a decade in semiconductors, working with companies like Cypress Semiconductors and Enphase Energy, where he watched the company grow from, look at these numbers, from a $62 million market cap all the way to $25 billion. And that's with a B. But what you won't find on paper is this. Harsha is a voracious reader. Okay, you speak about history, finance, science fiction, biographies. He's into all of that. So he has this deep perspective and sharp insights on far more topics that we could possibly cover in a single episode. So we get into his investment philosophy shaped by Buffett and Munger and Monish Pabrai. We talk about how he teaches his kids about money from the age of 5. Yes. And what India's position on the global stage really means for the future, and why he believes that the people around you are the single greatest compounding assets in your life. And this is the conversation I have been looking forward to sharing with you. So I hope you enjoy it. And with that, let's get started. All right, Harsha. Super excited to have you on the season 4 of the podcast.
Thank you, Manoj. Same here.
When people ask you what is that you do, what is the kind of answer you typically give? Because given your background in investing, then you are a qualified engineer, and then you also are in the technology space. So that's like an interesting Venn diagram of 3 things.
I'm an investor, primary job, and my day job, so to speak, is to manage money for people. So I run a PMS called Dwait, and we have around 25 to 30 families who have trusted their money with me, and that is my day job, and I want to do a kick-ass job there.
Yeah, and I think you have a massive passion in that space, right? Like you not only are really spending your time working with a lot of people in that space to help them out, and these individuals who are really HNI individuals, they want their monies to be managed by you, but you also went on to make this work for yourself, right? So in fact, you retired pretty early in life, right?
Hey, I shouldn't say retired. Retired is the wrong word.
No, but you were financially free, early in life.
See, I was very lucky in the sense that, my father used to be an investor from the early 90s. You would have seen this movie, the Harshad Mehta scam and so on. So that was the time when my father became interested in investing into Indian stock market. He used to take me to the Bangalore Stock Exchange. I don't know if you guys know, but there is or at least there used to be a Bangalore Stock Exchange, which was quite active. And I've gone there along with him once or twice. And he used to bring these stock certificates home, and he used to talk about how people can make money by holding these pieces of paper. And as a kid, I was quite interested in that.
How old were you when your dad used to take you?
Maybe 10 years, maybe. I think I've not gone there with him many times, maybe once or twice. But the stock certificates did have the allure.
Was it because your dad was so actively involved in it, that you also got interested in it? Or because he was so good at it that, you feared that in case if you were not as interested, it would be a problem?
It's all my interest. I think Dad being in, he used to buy some stocks and so on. So that definitely created some sort of interest, because what your parents do, you typically tend to at least understand, during dinner table conversations or otherwise. Hey, what is this? What is this certificate? UTI 64 or Master Gain 92 or the Infosys, for example, it came with an IPO during those days. So that sort of interested me. But again, as a kid, I used to be very curious. Even today, I am very curious. And so to speak, if you are a engineer, let's say you're only interested in engineering topics. If you are doing some other thing, you're interested in that. See, for me, everything is an interest. So you have to try to learn and understand what is what.
Yeah.
Stock investing is one where if you're an all-rounder, so if your core skill is to learn a little about everything, so you can be quite successful in this space.
Oh, okay.
So there are very few spaces where you need to know a little bit of everything so that you can mix and match, and you can have a mental model where you can connect various things. That's one of the reasons why I ended up in the stock market, so to speak.
In that space. But you also went through the traditional education and traditional job route originally, right? So could you tell a little about, you did study your engineering, right? Give me a little background on that.
Yeah, I studied in the local college in Bangalore called RV College. So I did my electronics engineering, and like most people of our age, I think after working for a year or two, you do your MBA. So I did my MBA from, today it is IIM Mumbai. During my times, it used to be NITI Mumbai.
Yeah, right.
Did that, and later I joined a semiconductor firm. So I was a semiconductor guy for more than a decade.
Wow, okay.
So spent a lot of time in Germany and then in the US, multiple different places.
Your work required you to travel quite a bit, right? I think.
Oh yeah, I've traveled to more than 50 countries in the world.
Oh, wow. Okay. But you predominantly were in US as well as in Germany.
Yeah, based in Germany and then based in the US.
And then, so you also, as far as I know, that you pretty much had a very bright career path in US itself. You could have, I think you were getting a green card, and you had a very clear way of, settling down there. And then what brings you back to the country?
Yeah, I never really wanted to settle outside.
Okay.
For me, I always felt it was a little bit better to be home here in India because I felt the most comfortable here, so to speak. That was one of the reasons. And I feel that the kind of energy you have in India, you don't have anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
Because a lot of young people, you would have noticed I have a lot of young people in my office as well.
Right.
So the kind of energy they bring in, you can't find that anywhere else in the world, because most other places, be it US, Germany, Japan, anywhere else, you have people who are in 40s, 50s. It's so much fun being around with young people, right?
Yeah. The energy is, it just rubs on you as well when you're around that kind of a youth group. But we skipped from your college quickly to your world of work. But I want to touch upon when you actually joined, now called as IIM Mumbai.
The entire 2 years at NITI was total fun. We were a bunch of people who somehow missed getting into an IIM, let's put it that way, because most of us had very good CAT percentiles. And our batch was very small in NITI, around 79 students alone.
Okay. Otherwise, typically, what is the batch size?
Most IIMs usually have around 250, 300 during those times. So NITI in Mumbai, we had like 79 students. And that was also pretty good because we had like wonderful placements after that. So in 2 years, all of us got placed in wonderful companies. And I think I have very fond memories of NITI. Cannot thank enough of NITI that the 2 years actually made me, so to speak.
So you were pretty much Bangalore boy, raised here. You were living with your parents. And this was the first time you were away from the family and maybe a hostel life and all that.
Yeah.
So how was that for you? Because I've all my life been in the city. I've always been with my parents. I've never had that kind of an experience where I'm away from family.
Hey, you should. I mean, that 2 years was like amazing. It was like, you come out of cocoon, right? Silkworm, it is there in the cocoon and you come out of it and it becomes like a small butterfly. So it is like that. I think the 2-year period was where you really understood that you have other skills as well. Because when you are here studying at a standard engineering course and so on, you're basically just spending time reading, doing things, doing the normal things. But when you're outside, you get to see a little bit more of the world. And we had so many case studies which we used to do, travel around. There were a lot of other B schools. We took up a lot of those competitions, went to case studies, debates.
But for you to get into this, I think you obviously had established a very high score. You were, I think, a studious guy as well as I can.
Oh yeah. I was a geeky studious guy.
So you made it as you scored really well and you performed well. But a social setting is very different from being like a studious type kind of person. So did you find it challenging to blend in, or was that anxiety that time, or it was all cool?
Absolutely not. I totally love Mumbai from day one, because Mumbai is the at least Bangalore during those days. I'm talking about 20 years back. 20 years back, you had it was still not a fast-paced city like today. Semi-sleepy city, let's put it that way.
Like how Pune is maybe right now, or maybe Pune 5 years ago.
Yeah. Pune, or maybe a little bit like Mysore.
Mysore, yeah. Mysore is currently still like a great place to go. And
I mean, I love the dosa there. And, But Mumbai was like 24 hours all the time. It is a city which is awake with energy. The locals during those times. The 2 years was total fun.
Okay. When you were raised as a kid, were you given a degree of autonomy and freedom, or did you feel that when you went to that college, or when you moved away from home? What was the case for you?
Well, it's very difficult to say, degree of autonomy. I think I did have enough autonomy. But I think going away from the place where you're born and where you have lived all your life. That gives you a little bit different perspective. If you're in the same city all your life, you have a set routine, you have like set things, you know what to do, you know the people around you. But when you change things, you meet new people, you are basically involved with things which you are not really aware of. Be it routines, be it the place itself, be it different people. So you're not speaking the same language. You're speaking.
You're exposed to a completely new reality, and
I think that was really, really fun. And today, if you ask me, hey, was Mumbai better, or would you wanted to stay in Bangalore? Let's say if you had gone to an IIM Bangalore. I would probably said, hey, this was like the most amazing thing.
And those friendships and those things still continue. You guys are.
Absolutely. We have a group which is rollicking, and all the guys are on WhatsApp, and we're pretty close.
Lovely. So I noticed that you were also very regular in journaling and putting these things out. That's why I touched on the first blog post that you initially put out. But that's like I think almost like you have a catalog of over 15-20 years of writing. Even though it may be sporadic, and there are some instances where you've gone intense. There are some seasons when you are busy and written very little. But that self-reflection and expressing it, is that a discipline thing, or was it something that you wanted a space to express?
I really don't know how I started the blog. Maybe I got bored when I was working initially, and
that reflected in the initial blog that you write work.
Because those were boring times.
What was your first job, by the way?
I was a like a software associate in a company. It was Pero Systems.
Was that in Bangalore?
It was in Bangalore. Whitefield. And we still, a lot of the guys who joined Pero are a bunch of people who are some of my thickest friends even today.
Oh, wow.
I just spent 6 months there, and they trained us on ABAP, on .NET, Java, C#, whatever. And they gave such a good training that within 6 months, all of us found a job somewhere else. Some guys got into Motorola, some into SAP.
That was your way of saying thank you to them.
The initial job was really, really fun because we had a lot of good friends. And after, I think a year or so, I think I joined NITI for my MBA.
So why did you choose to study higher? Was that something that you felt very strongly about studying, or you were not driven about, career and work and money at that time?
I think it was more the flow, so to speak. But I really wanted to get into IISc or do some research in electronics. I was an electronics guy. I wrote GATE probably 3 times during my engineering days.
Wow, okay.
And score was amazing, but my final year project, I did that at a place called Raman Research Institute. It's associated with IISc.
CV Raman, right?
It's the Astrophysics Institute where you do a lot of stuff on astrophysics.
Yeah.
And my mentor there, his name is Girish. I think he's still a scientist there. I have to really thank him. The kind of dedication they had, I somehow felt that maybe I'm not so dedicated to do some research on some astrophysics topic. I felt that I'm a little bit more broader guy. I want to touch upon various things.
Yeah.
So I felt that probably I should skip GATE and prepare to write CAT.
Okay.
So that probably the 3 months there made me change over to write CAT.
It kind of gave you a sense of clarity about which direction to take.
Because you don't have clarity, right? You're basically as a kid, all you're doing is trying to follow what someone else is doing.
Precisely,
you have a role model. I think we generally lacked role models during those days.
Right,
so you're basically looking at taking the path which everyone else is taking.
Right.
So we took the same path.
Yeah. And so that's how you ended up going on to study in IIM. Okay. And fast forward from there, you really worked in like companies where you were doing pretty well actually. Your track record indicates you also produced remarkable growth for the company with your thing. So, obviously you're not like somebody who was just managing in these careers. You were shining there pretty well. And you must have been, in a very lucrative position financially as well, right?
Yeah, super thankful, Manoj. I think from NITI, I joined Cyprus Semiconductor company.
This was in which place when you joined?
So this was Bangalore. I came back to Bangalore.
Okay.
I worked here in Bangalore for probably a couple of years.
Yeah.
Less than a couple of years maybe. And then moved to Germany. So
were you married then when you were moving to Germany?
Yeah.
So when did that happen? Like first job, second job, when did you get married?
No, when I came back to Bangalore and when I joined Cyprus.
Okay.
Within a year, I got married.
Okay.
I met my now wife, when I moved back here and somehow everything clicked. We said, we'll get married.
Okay. So when you went to Germany, you were married?
I was married.
Okay, cool.
So moved to Germany, spent time there. I think, Germany was real fun because I don't know how it is today, because today I think a lot of Indian students try to move to Germany to do their masters. It wasn't so much prevalent during my time, so we didn't see a lot of other Indians. So I stayed in Munich for around 3.5, 4 years. And we used to even stop midway on the road and speak with other Indians on the road.
Oh, really? It was that rare to notice these Indians?
It wasn't very popular that you couldn't see a lot of brown-skinned people on the road.
Okay.
But the German experience was amazing because at that time our business was somewhat stagnant, so to speak.
You mean the company's business?
The company's business.
Yeah.
So I was working at Cyprus Semiconductor and I was handling the memory portion. So the memory chip, SRAMs, FRAMs, non-volatile RAMs. I really felt strongly about the memory chips and we tried to grow that business. I think we doubled the business in a couple of years. 2.5 years, we doubled the business.
Wow, okay.
What used to be a stagnant market. And that was a real fun.
Was that your first ever international exposure?
No, I had traveled before. Because
even before that job?
During the job. Not before the job.
Okay.
I have never gone outside of India personally.
Right.
It was when I joined Cyprus, they initially sent me to Korea. I spent some time in the US. Then I went to Japan because it was an old flailing business for which I was hired as a marketing guy.
Okay.
And, they said you can travel. And I said, yeah, why not? I mean, I'll go to customers and we'll see how to grow the business.
Yeah.
So started traveling all around the world. Even before moving to Germany, I was like, probably I had gone to like 8 to 10 places, I would say.
Wow. Okay. So you had a fairly good global exposure of sorts by then.
I have to thank my immediate boss at that time, as well as the company in general. Cyprus was very willing to get the young, I would say graduate engineering trainees or people who come in to join their first jobs after MBA. They
out there in the market.
They offered like a lot of exposure.
Okay.
So that's, I have to be really thankful for that.
That's, of course, the company has done that, but also they sensed a degree of competency in each one of you who were...
I think a bunch of us who joined the company at that time, we were quite passionate. I don't think I would single out myself as anything out of ordinary than the group who joined. All of us were given the opportunity. Some of us did very well.
Yeah.
Some maybe did not do all that well. So I think it is like usually the wheat and chaff, they try to separate out themselves, right? I think a bunch of us did quite well.
So what was, as you started living in Germany, culturally a very different experience for you? What was something that you found out after started living there, rather than just by reading the books or,
Living in Germany?
Yeah.
Hey, the first 6 months was hell because I didn't realize that they had fired around 2-3 people in Europe.
Okay, in your company?
It was right after the global housing crisis.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of those people were fired, and I am like this geeky looking Indian guy going there and not speaking a word of German. So they tried to speak in German with me.
Okay. Is there a strong bias for people who speak German there, or is there a treatment which is different if you are
at least during those days?
Okay.
I think 2010, 2011, 2012, this is like already 15, 16 years back.
Right.
16 years back. You needed to speak at least a little bit of German, otherwise you would hardly get a response.
Okay.
So somehow, I tried to survive there the first 6 months. So I decided I'm not going to stay in office, because if I stay in office, the others in office tended to speak in German, or somehow I was not comfortable.
Yeah.
I said I'm going to just call clients, customers, try to go there, because they had given me a company car. I was driving a BMW 1 Series.
Wow. Okay.
I love to drive. The company paid for the gasoline.
Yeah.
And I had to grow the business. That was a very clear task. So I used to map out my week. So on Sunday, I used to map out where all I would travel.
You used to plan the week ahead.
Which all customers I would visit.
Yeah.
And I used to sort of just book the hotel there, stay overnight. And the next day I would take off from there, go to another customer, meet 2-3 clients on the way every day. And stay in the hotel and come back on Friday back to Munich in the office. And I think that ways you are able to connect to the customers.
Yeah. You were out there, meeting and doing real interactions with customers.
Yeah,
right?
I said, hey, if I am in office, I'm going to call at least 5 new people every day. So that was a method I used at that time.
That's very smart, actually. Because you really committed to the process of like blocking the calendar, booking the appointment and making it happen, right?
Yeah. So I had this saying on my desk there.
Yeah.
I am driving on the highway and I love driving. So autobahns in Germany were amazing. You don't have any speed limits.
Yeah.
And as an Indian guy, you're stuck with traffic here. So, and BMW 1 Series, you can drive at 200 kilometers an hour and love to travel. I mean, I said, I'm going to drive all around. Yeah. Let me travel. Let me meet new people, meet clients, and see how you can grow the business. I think the first year was amazing. We grew the business, and the 3.5 years I was in Germany. Later, the German team said, "Hey, you should stay back here. Why are you moving? Right? You should stay back." I met some of my closest friends. Even today, some of the guys in Germany are extremely close.
Yeah.
My boss in Germany, he and I, we speak even today quite frequently.
Okay.
Probably not so frequently, I would say once a year.
But you guys are well connected of sorts.
Yeah, well connected.
Okay. And then from Germany, then you moved on to US?
Yeah. Okay. There was a German guy who used to run one of the businesses for Cyprus. So he used to travel to Germany and I used to take him around to clients. And he said, hey, why don't you come with me to the US? You can be a marketing guy. And they had bought a new company. Cyprus had bought a new company called Ramtron. And we were trying to integrate that company. And he said, hey, I have a role for you in the US if you want to come. So I moved to US in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Not the usual East or West Coast. It is the central. It's not so much the central, but it's in Colorado.
Okay.
But you have more the Trump supporters, so to speak.
Okay.
So moved there, spent another year and a half in Colorado, did some good business development activities for this new business which Cyprus had bought, which is Ramtron. They used to make FRAMs, ferroelectric random access memories.
Okay. What are they used for?
They are used for a lot of these low power applications. Like, you have this wearables, heart monitors, anything for data logging. A lot of the automotive data loggers had FRAMs during those days. Some of the medical applications used had FRAMs.
So you're saying it used to. So now current technology does not have FRAM as a thing? It's changed now.
It's already 15 years hence.
Yeah, yeah.
I think FRAMs will always be there.
Hmm.
See, any memory chip will always be used in discrete form, but a lot of the memories are now integrated into ASICs or MCUs. You have FPGAs. All of these integrate memory in it.
Okay.
So I would say the discrete memories are somewhat stable or not growing as much as the integrated memories within these larger chips.
Okay. Okay. The use case for that was mostly in the medical and
Mostly industrial, automotive, medical, those type of,
Okay.
you know.
So you were brought in to really expand that part of the business. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And how was US culturally for you? It was much open and more welcoming than the German.
Truth be said, I loved Germany as a second home. Moving to the US felt a little bit going one step backward.
Really?
In terms of...
I'm okay, very fascinated. Why would you say that?
Well, I think
Did you spot more number of Indians when you were in the US compared to?
Oh, absolutely. Every alternate guy was an Indian.
Yeah. So didn't you feel like, this is home, I'm back to my community?
I don't know about that, but I really like staying in Germany. Especially after the first year, I started loving the place because it was quite advanced. Even today, it is quite advanced. The people, the vast populace in the cities in Germany, at least, very high quality people.
Yeah.
And even if you're working with clients, they are people who are sharp on time.
Yeah.
Who do what they say they do. And
very professional.
Who deliver what they say they'll deliver. So that's something which, I really like. And moving to the US, it's like... it's a mix between Germany and India, so to speak. It's like the Americans always have an agenda behind. I think there is always
some motive.
There is always a motive behind why you are asked to do something or you are trying to do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually agenda driven. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. And you could sense all that, once you moved in there.
Yeah, US is not a bad place. Definitely, it's an amazing place. A lot of innovation happening, even in Colorado. So I stayed in Colorado for the first 1.5 years or so when I moved to the US. The place was pretty beautiful, natural beauty, and a lot of hills, and you had Pikes Peak, beautiful environs. But in terms of people, I really felt Germany had a slight,
like
something. It had a
that extra
closer corner in my heart.
Okay. Did your wife also feel the same way about Germany and US?
I think my wife really liked Germany, and if I had forced her to settle in Germany, maybe she would have said yes. I don't know.
Okay.
I've not asked her. But yeah, I think we liked Munich a little bit more than Colorado.
And then how did you transition to choosing to be independent of, being an employee? And,
see, that came about quite late. Okay?
So this was after how many years in corporate?
So I spent roughly until 2021.
Okay.
So I spent more than a decade in my semiconductor company, the company which I joined, Cypress, various roles. And after Colorado, we moved to California, the Bay Area. We spent a few years there. I had a different role. I got promoted and I was handling this entire global marketing team for the memory division.
Yeah.
Which was quite fun, by the way. And then the guy who had hired me in India, he joined this solar company called Enphase Energy. And somewhere down the line, I think he was looking for people and I was very close to him. And I used to tell him that I want to move back to India. I'm kind of sick and tired of the US. And he's like, why don't you come with me, work here? If things work out well and good, you can go back and start something in India. And if it does not work out, you can anyway leave and go back. So there is nothing much
it's
you
like
are
a win-win.
losing. So I said, yeah, I think that's fine. And I joined Enphase. I was heading the product line.
What does Enphase make core business?
Enphase used to do the solar inverters. We do, or I cannot say we do because it is already a long time back.
Yeah.
Enphase does micro inverters, which is a inverter which is attached to every solar panel. So I was the guy who was heading the product line. That's a product which we did along with AC batteries. Now I think Enphase has branched on to various things. I was like super passionate. I really love anything and everything which I do. I always do with 100% of effort. And that's a business we grew from sub $100 million Actually, it was $60 million. The market cap of the company when I joined, the day I drove to work, the first day was like the lowest point that company had seen, where it ended at $62 million of market cap. I still remember quite well. Vividly remember. And then when I left Enphase, that was in 21, July or August of 21, it was probably $25 billion. So $60 million to $25 billion.
That is unrecognizable.
So that's an amazing journey.
So you were telling me about the story about how you went out.
Transitioned away?
Yeah.
Hey, I have always been investing. See, my own personal savings. Right from the first job I had at Pero, where I got 9,200 rupees. That was my first salary. And I bought 200 shares of NMDC.
My God.
The 200 shares of NMDC at 56 rupees. I still remember vividly, 11,200.
But hold on, buddy. You do realize that this is not a common practice a youngster does in the first job. You're done something very, very unusual, and you're just stating it as a matter of fact. No, it is not a matter of fact. No youngster who gets his first job spends buying shares, or it's a very
I was buying shares even before my first job.
Man, that's what. So I think your dad definitely played a key role in putting that practice of saving first.
See, I've been saving all my life. So even when I was a kid, when I was like probably 10 or 12 years old, I used to have like 5 to 10,000 rupees in my piggy bank.
Wow.
Because somehow, it's always there. Somebody would have given money, you go somewhere and they give you some slight amount of money as a kid, right? So you will come and save it in your piggy bank. So I used to always have that.
No, so the habit of saving, how did you develop that? Was that an instruction given to you, or you observed what your elders did, or like? Because I never had the habit of saving at all. I'm still struggling with that whole thing, so I am curious.
Hey, I am a hoarder, Manoj. Okay, you are sitting in my library where you see all these books, right?
Yes.
Probably there is a percentage of the books I wouldn't have read. Maybe
same
10
story.
to 15%.
Like every book, like people who have a library, it's the same story.
Yeah, I'm a hoarder. So I hoard everything which I like.
Yeah.
And I used to collect stamps. So I still have my stamp collection, which is there. I used to collect rare coins. The rare coin collection is also still there. Someday I will show you that.
Wow, okay.
And I think stocks is something where you are investing in the growth of the country, right?
Yeah.
Growth of the economy. There is a company which is growing. If you buy into that stock, in a sense, you are a part owner of that company.
Yeah.
The stock certificate is not just a piece of paper. It's like part ownership of that company. That is something which my father had taught me. And I said, hey, there are so many companies which are available where you would love to be a part owner. Right? And as the country is growing, as the economy is growing, as the companies are growing, so you would grow along with it. So that was the general thought process.
So when you had that understanding so early on, why didn't you go in the direction of business itself?
Why did you not become like a fund manager or get into
early on? Early on, yeah. Because you had this understanding that you're getting equity in all these companies, right?
Okay, so I guess you don't know how the placement scenario at Niti was. See, Niti, and today I am Mumbai, it's a operations business school. It's specialized on operations, supply chain management, so on and so forth. It was never known as a finance B school. So probably if finance was something which had a lot of focus, I would have ended up in finance. I don't know about that. But being an electronics engineer, I love to be in electronics as well. Even today, I love electronics.
Absolutely,
so that's like a second nature for me.
Yeah.
Some of the things which I do today as well are related to electronics, semiconductors, in the technology space.
Yeah.
Because that is like two sides of a coin, right?
Yeah.
Finance is one thing.
Right, of course.
But being involved in business, being involved in electronics is a totally a wonderful thing as well.
So you were very much interested. That's why you ended up.
Yeah, I was passionate. I was passionate about the electronics side of business as well, and I was passionate about investing. See, investing for me is more like a fun game. So it is like if you come back home after a long day's work, you would want to watch TV. I would want to read something. I would want to maybe listen to a podcast or a YouTube about something about history, something about finance.
Yeah.
So that's like my unwinding.
So how old were you when you were financially free?
So it's 2026 now. Probably around 12, 13 years back.
Okay. So when you became financially free, did you feel a sense of like freedom of of a different sorts? Like what people
Not too much.
people speak about, like when you're financially free, you wake up and you feel like I have arrived in life, or
Not really, not really. See, I've been reading about FIRE as well, financial independence and retire early.
early. Yeah.
I never had this topic about retire early on my mind because I loved what I did.
Right,
Even
right.
today, I love
Even
what I
now
do.
you enjoy. Yeah.
I really enjoy what I do, and I want to do it with people I like to be around.
Mm.
I don't want to be around people I don't like, negative energy or, heaviness or, bitching
Too
and
much
moaning.
drama. Yeah.
So we don't want the song and dance, the normal Bollywood song and dance where you're running around tree at speed of light and fucking yourself in the backside. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I think being in the midst of interesting people is always good. So when I did, I never realized I had achieved FIRE. Because I'm not this guy who is...
You're not tracking the numbers like that in that sense.
I'm not a spendthrift.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, when I felt that I had enough money, I felt that maybe this is not enough. Let's put it that way. So
I have the capacity for more.
I think you want to do what you like, right?
Mm.
And if you're earning money through that, you earn money and you reinvest.
Yeah.
You will have better companies to invest in.
Yeah.
Stocks are always like wonderful to invest in because they are in different areas. So you have some finance companies, you have manufacturing companies, technology companies, solar companies.
Yeah.
A whole gamut of stocks are there in India, even outside India, let's say US or wherever. So reading about them is a interesting thing. And if you can read and if you can identify undervalued companies to invest in, and if you benefit financially from that, it's a hobby which is giving you money, right?
Absolutely. And reading, like right now as we speak, we are in a place which is filled with books. And I believe you have way more books back in your house, in your collection. So how did you develop a reading habit? Was it an outcome of, you being very nerdy and academically focused? Or was it your household had books? Your dad was a reader himself?
No, my parents were not readers, really.
Your parents were not readers, okay.
Parents were not readers. I think when I did my schooling in Joseph's, St. Joseph's Indian High School. Joseph's had a pretty large library and we had a library period.
Yeah.
I started picking up a odd book here, odd book there, and somehow that habit of reading at least fiction during those days.
Okay.
This is 90s. So you had like this habit of reading fiction, reading something on this Sherlock Holmes or some of the classics. So you get that habit, and that habit rubbed off, and even during engineering or post that, something or the other, you always picked up a book and you always had this habit of reading.
Yeah.
So even today, if you see, I have like a lot of things which I'm reading. Even when you came here, I was reading a book, and that habit has stayed on, I think.
You have been very strongly influenced by three thinkers. You have written that in your blog as well. You've been very vocal about it. You have written about Buffett's, philosophy, Munger. And there is Monish, I think.
Monish Pabrai.
Yeah.
There is a photo of Monish Pabrai right behind there on the wall.
Oh.
That's my inspiration wall.
Wow.
So you have Buffett, Munger and Pabrai. All the three are on that inspiration wall.
Yeah. So how did you discover them in the first place, and why these three personalities? There are so many more heroes in this space, right? So
see, I started investing. I was always investing. Even when I was not reading much about investing, I was investing in stocks.
Yeah.
But when I moved to Germany, this was, I think, late 2010, 2011, during that period, 2010, 2011 period.
Yeah.
I used to travel a lot, as I said. I used to stay in hotels, and I used to have a lot of time in the evenings. The thing which I did is someone told me that there is this finance course which a professor in MDI, Sanjay Bakshi, he puts his courses on his
portal
website.
Okay.
You can actually download all the things which
for
he
free.
has done. Yeah, for free.
Oh, wow.
You can attempt all of those. And I got to know there is another professor in New York Stern University called Ashwath Damodaran. He's quite famous now.
I've heard him speak.
But I think
once.
15 years back, he was not all that famous.
Yeah.
But he used to also post his courses on NYU Stern website. And I used to have time, so I downloaded all of those. So I had like 2-3 hours later in the evening, even early in the morning. So I used to do those.
Oh,
I did all those courses. I did the valuation. I took his valuation exam. I literally sent him the paper. I don't think he ever corrected or replied back. But so be it. I mean, there was this opportunity to learn from these stalwarts.
Yeah.
So I tried to learn. And in the meantime, I got to know that Warren Buffett, he used to write an annual letter. So the annual letter, I think Pabrai mentioned that in some of his early interviews. So I said, hey, I'm going to read those letters myself.
So Pabrai was the first introduction to Warren Buffett to you in that sense. Like you wanted to...
Yeah, I think Buffett, everybody knew Buffett.
Yeah, he was
because when you do your MBA and so on, you get to know the name.
Right.
But I had never really read those letters in such a detailed manner.
Yeah.
But I downloaded all his letters from, I think it was late 60s and even before, I think from 1956 till 1969, the 13 years when he was running Buffett Partnership.
Yeah.
He used to write his Buffett Partnership letters as well.
Okay.
So I downloaded all of those. I read through all of these in Germany.
Yeah.
And during that time, I had a much more stronger framework of how you invest. I built my own Excel models.
Yeah.
Listening to Damodaran, I built like a model. Listening to Pabrai, I built my own checklist.
Okay.
He said Checklist Manifesto. There is a book which Pabrai had recommended.
Yeah, Atul.
Atul Gawande.
Yeah.
It's called Checklist Manifesto. I read that book. I said, hey, I'm going to create my own checklist. I created my own checklist for stocks.
Yeah.
So checklists prevent errors. They don't improve your style of picking stocks, but they give you a edge in not making too many mistakes.
Yeah. I think like how Munger says, like you will fairly go far in life if you avoid stupidity or that.
Absolutely.
Something like that, right? So, yeah.
You don't need to do brilliant things, but you don't need to do stupid things.
Yeah, basically avoid that. You will be fairly okay in life, right?
Absolutely. He says inversion, right?
Inversion
is a principle.
Right,
I think inversion as a principle comes from a French guy, Blaise Pascal.
Pascal, yes.
Pascal.
Yeah,
he says invert, always invert.
Explain.
And I think there is another, a German mathematician, I don't remember his name. So he talks about man muss immer imkehren.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, my German is quite bad now.
I have no understanding. So
man muss immer imkehren. That is, man must always invert.
Okay.
So any problem you get, the way you have to look at it is you should not look at it in a straight manner. You have to go and look at it from behind. So invert your problem. So if you are asked a question, I don't know where I heard this thing. It's not my making.
Yeah.
So if you want to find out if all swans are white, you have a white swan, right?
Or Nasib Talab maybe.
Yeah. Maybe it is Nasib Talab. I forget who talks about this concept. You should not go find the millionth white swan. So that will not give you the right answer. You have to go find the black swan.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
So
okay.
it is like you cannot say I have found a million white swans, so every swan is white. You cannot come to that conclusion. So you have to go find that black swan, right?
Okay.
If you find that black swan, then you know that all swans are not white.
Oh, right.
So that's the
yeah. That's very like a critical thinking exercise. Interesting way. Okay.
So I think Munger more than anyone else for his investing, if you read enough about Munger, so you'll understand that there are a lot of these concepts which he talks about.
Right.
So when you look at a company, invest. The way to look at it is why not to invest in that rather than why to invest.
So are you looking from the lens of what are the red flags and and
absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, this guy, the guy who is running is a crook. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, good.
This company is in a segment where it is a hugely commoditized area. Okay, price pressure. Okay, no problem. Move ahead. You don't need to invest. Investing is one profession where you don't need to always get the right answers.
Yeah.
If you get wrong answers, it's well and good.
Yeah.
Out of 20 things, if one thing turns out to be good, that's fine. I mean, I make money on that one thing. That's fine. I don't need to make money on 20 things which I have studied and I have looked at.
So going back to what you were talking about, Pabrai, where he told about the checklist. So checklist only ensures errors don't happen. And then you said, but the skill set to really grow something is a different skill set, right?
Yeah. Buffett, Munger, they give you the general guideline for investments. Okay. So, all the gurus of investments have all learned from these people.
Yeah,
okay? We've all learned from them. There is nothing new in the universe. Everything is already there. Everything has already been told by people. All you need to do is go and read that and go and try to rediscover those facts.
Okay.
See, Buffett talks about the finding right type of businesses to invest in. So you have to invest in something which has a lot of potential to grow. You have to buy that at a discount. And you need to have people who are running that business who are not crooks.
So
and
the value
who have
has
the
to
right
be
kind of attitude for making money for people, not only themselves, but for others who are their partners. Who are the partners? Partners are basically your stakeholders or shareholders.
Yeah.
So if you have the right guy who is running the business and who has the right kind of attitude to share that with the people who are their shareholders, I think it's already half of the work done.
Yeah.
So all those models Buffett has already talked about.
Yeah.
If you go and read his the letters which he's written, the annual letters, you would automatically learn how to look at a business.
You talk about identifying the right kind of people also, right? How do you identify? Like when you're talking to a young entrepreneur and if you were to invest in him or her, what are you actually looking in them?
Again, Buffett talks about this. There are three things Buffett says are super important in an individual. One is intelligence. The second one is integrity. The third one is energy.
Oh, okay.
So if you have energy, but if you don't have intelligence and integrity, it is of no use.
Yeah.
If you have both intelligence and energy,
but integrity.
If you don't have integrity, you better stay away from that person because he is a crook and he will try to fool you.
Right.
The framework for anything, be it people who you want to hire, be it people who you want to be associated with as friends or as business partners.
Yeah.
These are the three things. I think he has given a beautiful framework. And as long as I think you are within that framework, Guru Buffett, if he's already told these things, you just copy that. I think Pabrai talks about, copying. He talks about cloning as a very interesting aspect.
Okay.
And for me, this was a revelation. I think this is like 15, 20 years back when I first heard about Pabrai.
Yeah.
And he had written a really interesting book at that time, where he said the thing which you need to do is clone good people. Find a person you really like and list down all the good qualities he has and clone those good qualities. List down all the bad qualities which you have in yourself and try to cut down on that.
Yeah.
So if you can clone everything, I think that's already done. So he talked about cloning and this guy talked about what is needed. And I think you have all the secret ingredients are already there for investing.
Wow. Okay. So it's like a system file which has all the necessary programs in it and you're just copying that and it just works.
It's not my program. It's these guys' program.
They have, trial and error, so many things that they know what is working, what is not working. And, they have identified that these core things.
Absolutely. See, even when I started my PMS, I have copied Pabrai. Pabrai copied from Buffett. So we don't charge any management fees in my PMS.
Yeah.
PMS is portfolio management service where I manage money for individuals, right?
Yeah.
So we are a SEBI registered PMS providers and same fee structure which Buffett had, which Pabrai has. I've just copied that. There's nothing. I mean, if these guys are saying something, I don't want to use my brain and, modify that. I'm just going to copy it. That's it.
Yeah. So there is this aspect of, sometimes we do not want to really get too close to our heroes because then suddenly you discover some aspects of them which is, oh, wow, okay, this I never knew. But that's not the case with, at least Munger and Buffett and all these people where they really also lived a life of such high principles in that area.
I don't think you should even meet them or get to know them. I've never been there. I've never been to his annual shareholders meeting in Omaha. Munger has passed away. I never went to the Daily Journal meeting in California. However, there is this body of immense work available, right? So all those books which you see there, all the writings of Buffett and Munger are, have printed those things.
All stacked up,
So all of those are there. All you need to do is read those and you are just trying to get the principles out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not really looking at emulating them because we are our own people, right?
Yeah.
A Manoj is different, a Harsha is different. We are our own people. But you are trying to get their thoughts. And trying to understand the way they are thinking about that problem so that you can understand how to look at it from their lens.
Yeah.
But you are applying your own filters. See, for example, I'll have my own competency. I have spent a lot of my time in electronics industry.
Right.
So I have spent a lot of time in solar, semiconductor space. I understand these things well.
Yeah.
So manufacturing, So I understand those things well.
Yeah, and you bring in a
So-
perspective which is so unique to you specifically in that sense, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So where I don't understand, so I don't look at that. What I understand, I can look at it, and what I understand and what I look at, and then if something is available for a discount where you can buy, I'll buy that.
Yeah. There's a
If
clear
I don't have
opportunity
the
there,
money,
yeah.
I'll not buy it. I mean, if clients put in money and it's the right time, at that time, whatever is available for the lowest price, which has the best prospects, I'll buy. So sometimes you go wrong. You try to course correct. You try to diversify your risk. You create your own principles around it for clients investing money. And I think we try to get better every day.
So looking back across your career, like what habits or mental models have compounded the most value for you in your life?
And good people, being in the midst of good people. I've been very lucky. The friends you have, the people you spend time with at home, for example, the wife you have is very important.
That's a very important one. Yeah, actually. If that is not in order, then,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No?
Yeah.
And you get lucky because, the parents, you automatically get them.
Yeah.
But you get to choose your wife and choose your other friends and business partners.
Right.
So all of them have been amazing. So some of the businesses where I am involved in today, the people who are my partners there, business partners, so to speak, some of the highest quality people.
Right.
So I'm very thankful to God to somehow get me in the midst of people like them. They are much, much higher caliber than me in what they do. And I don't know what they see in me, but, gain a lot more.
I wasn't expecting you to tell about people. That is really interesting. And it compounds, if it is the right people, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You, for example, we got to know each other a few years back.
Yeah.
And we have so much fun talking about things where we have common interests. Right?
Absolutely.
I think people, that's the number one, I would say.
Like when you think about your own upbringing, what values or habits from your childhood, do you want most to pass on to your children?
Oh, to children, huh? It's a interesting thing.
Segue.
I think reading habit, maybe.
Reading habit.
Yeah. I think reading habit is something very important. I don't think my parents explicitly drilled that habit in me, but I think if you read enough, I think you will have enough curiosity to pick your own.
So you yourself you're a parent with 2 boys, right?
Yeah.
Do you have an approach in bringing in that curiosity in your sons, or is there a manipulative approach to nudge them in that direction?
Hey, see, I am a very hands-off father. As you probably might know, my wife is super involved in all aspects of their life, and I'm very thankful to her for that.
Yeah.
But the only thing which I try to inculcate is the habit of money management.
Tell me.
So right
about
from the age when my elder son was 5 years old, we started giving him a small pocket money. Okay. So when I was in the US, I used to give him like $25 a month.
A month, okay.
$25 a month when he was 5 years old.
Okay, that's a lot, okay.
Yeah, $25 a month. And he will keep it. He can buy a toy or he can buy whatever he wants.
There is no restriction what he wants to buy if he wants to buy.
Initially.
Okay.
I said by end of the year, post December, whatever you save, I will double that.
Oh, so there was an incentive to that behavior if he retained.
Yeah, whatever he saved, I will double that. And I also said you can invest into stocks. Hey, these are some companies I'm looking at.
Yeah.
If you're interested, I'm going to invest your own piggy bank in it. He had a book. Even today, he maintains that book. Both the kids maintain that book now.
Oh, okay.
After moving back from the US to India, I said your pocket money gets cut down to 500 rupees a month. So my son was not happy.
This is not fair.
Hey, boss, that's the labor arbitrage, right? So you get more money in the US because dollar and so on. When you come to India, it is rupee based. So you're getting 500 rupees a month.
He was educated about labor arbitrage.
I don't know what he has learned, but you have to ask him. But I didn't want to spend $25 here in India, and I told it is 500 rupees. Now we increased it to 1,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Because he's been successful in negotiating it upwards by giving different reasons.
Okay.
So that is where it stands.
That's interesting. So the answer that you're trying to share is about the habit of saving. Is Something that you want them to pick up and
saving and putting that saving in some group of companies which they understand. So I think they now understand that stocks are like portions of business which they can hold. And both of them have their own individual portfolios,
Wow.
both my kids. And I think...
How old are your sons?
The elder one is 14, the younger one is 10.
Wow, interesting. Okay, that's really interesting. Okay. All right, I have some other questions that I wanted to get your take on. What beliefs about success did you hold in your 20s that you no longer believe today?
That's a very deep question, Manoj.
Yeah, like, when we are
belief I
starting
had
off in life,
20s.
we have some definition or ideas about, what a successful life looks like, right? And then today we are after like,
People are very different than what they appear on the outside.
Tell me more.
So in the 20s, you tend to, look at someone and believe what he is on the outside as what he is on the inside. I think what I've realized over a period of time is people are very different than what they appear on the outside.
Or whatever they project.
So the projection on the outside is quite different from what they are in the inside.
How did you learn that?
You tend to, meet a lot more people. You get involved with a lot more businesses over time. So some of the guys who I have been involved with in either my previous organizations where I work or my current business partners, for example, where I am involved with two companies where I am heavily involved. One of them, which I have co-founded, Zepco Technology, and another company, Power One. So some of the guys are very high quality people. Some of them may not come out like that when you speak initially. Then you get to know that they are really high quality people.
Because the first impressions may not be exactly conveying those aspects you're saying. Okay.
So I think people aspects is what I think I would have told. Don't gauge the book by the cover.
But you also come across to me as somebody who's a very helpful when it comes to people. Like, you generally are always willing to see how you can help the other person.
Because see, we get lucky only through other connections. So only if you help someone, you will get help. It need not be in a 1:1 fashion. What happens is, let's say you help out 10 people. The 10 people may not really respond to you the same way you have responded to them. But I think 1 or 2 out of them will respond in similar or even greater fashion. And those are the people you become more and more close to. So if you continue to do that for a long period of time, I think you'll come up with a core group of, friends or people who are your acquaintances, colleagues, partners. I think that gives you a lot more to any activity which you are doing.
I can see the way you apply the investing principle in life also with people, I think. Like, you identify people early on, and you think it'll be good to really, just put it out
connect
there.
And be closer to that person.
Just leave it. If they're the right ones, they appreciate and grow over a period of time. And, some work, some don't work.
I don't know. I think we are very early days in our career and life, so to speak. So only time will tell.
All right. I have some specific questions which are money-based questions, which I think it'll be useful for our listeners also. What is the conventional money advice that you get to hear, which is completely wrong?
Most people don't think about money, Manoj. It's only very late in life that you realize that you should have thought about it probably 10 years, 20 years back.
Why do you think that is the case? Especially for majority of the population, money is not something that they focus as much. Like, everybody wants to earn money. But to build wealth, wealth is different from like just being rich. Like, you want to have wealth which serves you later. So why don't people think about it?
I think maybe it was more the Indian mindset. I think we Indians were never really very confident of our capabilities and abilities. It's only now I think we are super confident. If you speak with any of the younger generation, they are like super confident. They know what to do and at least they have an idea. Even a lot of people who come to me and they want to become interns or they want to work, they have a fairly good understanding of the investing framework. But I think during our days, maybe the matter was totally different.
Yeah, it was too foreign a concept to even think about what can you do with money. Like, you have to earn to
It is like the Maslow's principle, no? Maslow's law, where you have like roti kapda makan was
Yeah.
like the
Primary focus.
primary focus.
Yeah, yeah,
Only
yeah.
when you have like security,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you go to other things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think the finding the foundation or the base as a nation, it I think took us like probably 50, 60 years of our independence. Because, the British had kept us in such a deep mess, where as a nation in 1700s, 1800s, you were super rich as a nation. But mid 1900, 1940s, 1950s, when they eventually went away, we were like so poor. I think it took us like 50 years, 60, 70 years, even today. I think we are setting a base.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's only now our younger generation, they are looking at investing, saving, even entrepreneurship as a culture.
Yeah.
Even if you are not an entrepreneur, if you're working somewhere, understanding the business aspects of things, what are you doing? How do you look at things in a different manner? I think those things have only started coming up now. Hey, I don't know what your original question was. I've forgotten. Did I even answer? Or
Yeah, my original question was, what's the problem with the conventional money advice? Like people.
Okay, conventional money advice.
Yeah.
See, typical advice for money in India is put that in a safe instrument. In the sense,
Like
put
in
that
some
in an FD. Put that in a debt instrument. You have to buy real estate, so that if you buy real estate, you will get some rental income, or you will have a home to stay. I think that is a very incorrect way of inculcating financial education to the younger people. The more correct manner, or the more right aspect, is to tell them about various other avenues to invest. It need not just be equities. Okay, I'm an equity guy. It need not just be buying stocks. Okay, people may not understand how to do that, or buying even mutual funds, for example. So you need to tell them about various things which are there where you can invest money. Even yourself. So, for example, studying better, or doing certain courses, getting your own knowledge up in the field where you're working.
Yeah.
That could be a good advice for a 20-year-old guy.
That's interesting.
If someone is just doing a CA, is CA the right thing? Can he do CFA? Can he do some other NISM exams? I don't know. I mean, other things.
So upskilling themselves itself is...
Why don't we upskill ourselves? Get to a higher position ourselves. Studies need not be like, hey, I came out of engineering college and I'm done. Upskilling can also be an investment you're doing for yourself. That is one. And investing in a periodic manner. They call it as SIP nowadays.
Yeah.
At least investing a small amount of money.
Have some kind of a cadence to it.
Have a cadence. It could be a monthly cadence when you're getting your salary. It could be a quarterly cadence. Even it could be yearly.
Right.
Let's say you get a bonus. How do you invest your bonus? Maybe you do 2-3 things. You buy a good insurance for yourself. You buy a pension plan. That is again a debt-like investments. And then you have some investments in mutual funds. You buy some stocks so that you can learn for yourself. All of those can be done. But people tend to go buy the highest investments first, which is go buy a house. If you pay off your loan in 20 years or 10 years or 15 years, you will realize you don't want to stay there.
I think that is one thing which very high earning youngsters also, they kind of commit to like a 20-year loan for a house.
Yeah, I think real estate as an investment, I think is overhyped. Not only in India, it's I think the same case everywhere in the world. You may want to buy other things. Yeah, maybe 10 years, 20 years down the line, if you want to buy the house at that time.
That's a useful, I think, counter to the conventional advice that we get to hear. What's your take on relying on willpower? Or you think, like for savings, many people rely on willpower.
So
what's your take on that?
Hey, the easiest thing is you save first and then you spend, no? See, if you get, let's say, I don't know, maybe a young guy, let's say he's getting 20,000.
Yeah.
You don't need to spend 20,000. You are living with your parents. You don't need to spend that, no?
But I want that brand new iPhone which has just come and I can take a EMI of, like 20. So that's where all the thing goes in a different direction.
See, they talk about this consumerism, right?
Yeah.
I've heard this quote. I don't know if I can recollect it correctly. Let me try to do that. You tend to buy things you don't need to influence people you don't like with the money you don't have. And that is the modern consumerism, and this is what drives the modern economy.
Yeah.
I think there was a quote, something like
Yeah. Correct.
right? I don't know who has said
we'll
this.
attribute it in the show notes, but then
I think that is the problem, because you are living your life for someone else.
way beyond your means.
Way beyond your means.
Yeah.
I think as long as you don't want to impress others and try to be within your means,
Yeah.
I think that would be a sane advice for anyone out there.
How can someone overcome this fear or anxiety around money or investing? Especially in India, we come from very hard circumstances where, like that first salary itself is such a struggle. And there are like so many commitments that families also have. Like, there'll be dependent family members, like lifestyle that they have to maintain, whatever with that. So when you talk about end of the month, they don't have much left. And somebody like you who says first invest and then do the rest, that's like a anxiety inducing suggestion. If they hear it, like, I'm worrying about how I'm going to pay the fees for my child, or I have to do this or that. And you're suggesting that I know, and you means I'm not pointing at you, like the school of thought which says if you really want to make wealth, investing is the way. What's your take on that? And how do we overcome that anxiety about money related to investing?
I think you need to take some risk. For far too long, I think we've been very risk averse. You are only doing the things which are always set by your parents or by elders or someone in your family who has done something. You do the exact same thing. I think you should be willing to take a little bit of risk and do things your own way, where you make certain mistakes. I cannot tell about how to improve money behavior for someone who is already quite old, because you're already quite set in your ways.
Yeah. It's very strong patterns.
It's already a strong pattern.
Yeah.
And if you are already in that race of, how do I spend my money so that I can lead a decent life
and keep up with the Jones.
Up with the Jones. I think they have to learn things themselves. You cannot teach much for people who don't want to learn.
Yeah.
But for people who want to learn, the younger generation, I think all I would say is you have to take some risk. So, I have this, even on my status, you would see there is this saying, no risk, no story. As an individual, if you don't risk a little bit, it could be with money as well.
Yeah.
If you don't risk putting that in a equity, if you don't risk putting that in a mutual fund, you will not learn. You may lose. I'm not saying you will always gain. From the first investment, you may not start making money.
Yeah.
But you will get certain lessons which you will not learn any other way. You have to learn lessons by losing.
You have to have some skin in the game.
You need to have skin in the game. So that's the advice I would give someone who wants to try to find a better way. I mean, at the end of the day, money is not something which you have to keep in wraps. They say that Lakshmi only comes if you worship Lakshmi, no? Is that the statement?
So for the context for our international listeners, Lakshmi, why did you say that? You need to give some context.
The goddess Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth.
In the Hindu culture.
Lakshmi is a goddess who bestows anyone with wealth. And you will get bestowed with wealth only if you show the respect, reverence, as well as the kind of safekeeping for money. Only then the goddess Lakshmi smiles on you.
So she'll bless you with more.
I think you need to be open to that idea of understanding your own inner psyche and trying to make sure that you learn the basic principles of money management. And it is not just for youngsters or specific people, but it's for everyone. If you have a lot of debt, you need to somehow cut down on it. If you're already in a deep well, the thing which you need to do is stop digging further. Right? People with a lot of loans.
All right. I want to shift gears a bit and get your take on some of the other ideas. Let's touch on parenting a little bit.
Okay.
So you told me, I think you did answer this question. So I had a question which was, how do you introduce the ideas like compounding or that curiosity to invest in your children, which you did answer in your earlier example. But what qualities would make you proud when your sons are adults?
Having a good, rounded personality, in the sense, you need to be good for the society and you need to be a net positive for the world you are living in. you need to not have very strong views. If
What do
you
you
have
mean
like
by that?
very
Yeah.
strong views,
Hmm.
radical views, then it becomes a problem. You'll not have like a flexible mindset.
If you have developed a conviction about something based on your own life experiences,
Yeah, conviction is one thing. Conviction is okay. But if you have like very strong radical views on, religion, very radical views on
you
how
could
to look at a society.
you could be a trouble to the society, or
You should never have that.
Hmm.
So that's the thing which I would, wish in my children as they grow to become young adults.
Yeah.
And they need to be a net positive for any environment they are associated with.
Okay. We spoke about all the great things that you had in your career path. Was there any time in your life where you felt your lowest? When you became an entrepreneur on your own, were the seasons where it didn't look as rosy and,
Absolutely. See, the first year, I used to run the microinverter product line for this company, Enphase Energy, as I said. And I was quite happy with the job and what it entailed, the kind of people I was associated with, the team, all of those. When I left, and I thought that I can leave and I can become a money manager because I've been managing money for so long.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing I can do easily. But India is a very highly regulated market.
Okay.
And I'm not saying now that when I look back, probably 5-6 years down the line, when I look back, I think it's the right thing to do because you don't want any Tom, Dick and Harry come and manage money for other people. Because, what if you lose money for a lot of people and then you run away, right?
Yeah.
So SEBI has regulated entry into the Indian money management environment in a very deeply involved way. So you have a lot of regulations around it. You cannot just become a PMS provider. You cannot just become a investment advisor or even a mutual fund distributor.
Oh.
You need to meet criteria. You have examination which you need to pass. You need to have the kind of skin in the game, the experience in doing certain things. So the first year, that was a huge realization because the regulation aspect I had no clue about.
Okay.
And I learned about all of that. And I even made my own application for the first time when they rejected my PMS license. I passed the exams and so on and so forth. I said, you don't have enough experience. So you have to have that experience as well.
But for you to have experience, you have to have SEBI, right? Approval.
Correct. So you need to pass through that gamut. So the first 1 to 2 years was this constant phase of understanding the regulations in the market. And that gave me lot of understanding, and that was like a low point in my life, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I even liked the low point as well. I was learning quite a bit.
Did you reconsider your options at that time when you were feeling this resistance with this whole regulation?
Yeah, see, I had left my corporate world.
Yeah, which was
job. 21, I left my corporate job, and then I was doing this thing. Money-wise, I was okay. Then I said, okay, what do I do? And someone approached me, hey, do you want to be a consultant for Bain, Bain and Company, like McKinsey and Company? I did that for a very short period of time.
Okay.
Where I advised on solar and so on for some large Indian corporates who are well-known corporates, by the way. And then I felt that there is an opportunity where I can invest my money in the company where I had previous experience, in the sector where I had previous experience.
Right.
See, that's how I bought into Power One. So we recently sold Power One, majority we sold to Amber Enterprises. It's a listed company. So me and my partner, we sold majority. But I came across my partner through some of these aspects. If not for that 1 year where I had the struggle, I likely wouldn't have met him. And my other partner or business partner where we are directors in Zepco Technologies. Where we do drone motors, controllers, power supplies, so on and so forth. This is a super high quality individual. I only came to know him better because of that 1 year of lull, where he had this lull as well and where I had the lull, and we somehow jived, and he was gracious enough to say, why don't you come and partner with me?
So even though that was like a tough period of sorts, you ended up meeting people who ended up being in your life for something way better.
Oh, yeah. We started companies, right? Even my current business partner, Anurag, where we have wealthness.ai.
Yeah, this is your latest venture, which is, looks very promising with the current times, right?
Absolutely. See, AI is the way of world. Okay. You want it, you don't want it. AI is going to change everything. And I think even in wealth management, see, wealth as such, it's not just about investments. Okay. So many people mistake, wealth for just investments. You have to look at all aspects of wealth. What do I mean by that? It's the 4 I's. Investments, insurance, income tax, and inheritance. So we at wealthness.ai, along with my partner Anurag and the third partner, so to speak, who is our first early investor and mentor, Shivendra, all the three of us are very good friends.
Yeah.
So we wanted to look at revolutionizing something in this wealth space. Where you have like a lot of old type of companies which are there managing money, managing things, looking at it in a siloed manner. So we wanted to give this opportunity for young people on an app where you do all these 4 I's and you do it for, almost next to nothing. You can do it for free. You can download the app. You can play around with it. You can aggregate all your wealth in one place, and then where you can also get advice on how you need to invest. So more from an education point of view.
Okay.
Been super lucky, all of those aspects.
Speaking about AI, it doesn't bother you that AI could pretty much replace the cognitive capability that, you bring on board. Now you have this years of experience, and now the rate at which
That'll be good, no, Manoj?
I like the completely secure response that you're giving to that.
Absolutely.
Like somebody whose primary...
I have zero clue about AI. Okay, I know how to use AI. I've used ChatGPT, Claude, Notebook, Gemini. I've used all of those to make my life better, but I don't know how to do AI. So that my partner would tell you better.
Yeah, no. We're not getting technical. Even I'm like an end user of all these products. But I'm seeing the rate at which AI is growing. If you want the world's intelligence, it is at your fingertips now.
Yeah,
right?
You like it, you don't like it, you want it, you don't want it, you think, you don't think. AI is going to change the world. And, I started reading some science fiction nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Because science fiction is where you learn
these
about,
future predictions way ahead of time.
Future predictions, right?
Yeah.
Flying cars, someone was making that. Now you have drones.
Yeah.
Right? I think in 1950s, some of the science fiction were talking about flying cars. Back to the Future, the movie, right?
Yeah.
They talked about flying cars. Now you have flying cars.
Yeah.
Things like interplanetary travel, for example, which Musk is talking about. See, some of those things are very interesting. I'm reading a book now. I don't know if this is like science fiction or real science by Walter Russell, a book called Universal One. Quite interesting. He talks about various concepts and I don't know what is true, what is not true. But
it just, brings in this imagination of what is possible. Yeah,
absolutely.
Given even now the current war which is going on, the attack tactics have changed with drones coming into picture, right?
Absolutely.
And you could achieve phenomenal results in a negative way, I'm saying, but with at 1/10 the cost, what they would have spent, like billions of dollars, right? So
see, even if you talk about Operation Sindoor or if you talk about the Iran war, who would have thought a $10,000 drone with some warhead or some sort of ammunition attached can go and cause like mayhem where they can blow off your latest gadget. Ukraine went into Russia and it used drones to attack one of the airfields in Russia. Who would have thought that, you are fighting a different type of warfare now, and you need to become cognizant of the fact that it's no longer like the biggest, meanest, baddest equipment out there. It is like how you can have the cheapest one work in more numbers. You have these swarm drones and so on and so forth. There are like various strategies which are coming up even in warfare.
Yeah. And the cost of losing a drone is not as much as, losing a big equipment or something which is more fast sophisticated, right? Like they can just deploy another set of drones immediately and...
Absolutely.
That's fascinating how it's working out now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, at ZEPCO, we attended one of the think tanks. It happened in Sam Manekshaw Auditorium in New Delhi, where you had this CENJOS. It's called a Center of Joint Warfare Studies.
Okay.
CENJOS. And they had created like a next generation think tank for discussing post-Operation Sindoor. What kind of technologies need to come?
Yeah.
Because our drone motors and controllers, battery management systems, so on and so forth, get used in these drones.
Okay.
So you need to have indigenous capability. So in that, I was like super surprised that we are thinking in terms which we would have probably not thought of. It would have been in the realm of science fiction. Even if you go back like 5-10 years back, I think we are thinking in that terms, which changes the entire game you're playing.
Yeah.
Your opposition may be playing Gilli Dandu, right? In the same field, but you are playing a sophisticated game. You're playing like a football or a cricket or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? When compared to the older game, you're like change the game.
Yeah, the rules are different and the dynamics is completely,
this is the rule, but the rule has completely changed. So that is like super interesting. AI and some of these things will likely do that for us.
What are you excited about when you think about AI?
Me and AI?
Yeah.
Hey, look, if you are doing some stock research, okay, I have spent a lot of time before researching about stocks because putting it in the right template, then looking at all these checklists and clearly analyzing certain things. Of course, you want to buy things where you don't need any of these deep work.
Yeah.
But it is good to have some deep work as well. And that today through AI, it likely simplifies all of those things because it's able to look at specific sources. For example, I really liked one of my friends, Ashish. He came by and he showed me how to use Notebook.
Yeah.
You know, you can use Gemini, connect a Notebook to that, have all the PDFs. So for example, all the Buffett frameworks, Munger, Pabrai, any of the Seth Klarman, all the older investment grades, all their books. Now you can upload a Notebook. Try to think how they have thought.
Yeah. Because here you will have full control of the source material rather than hallucination, which typically ChatGPT would have done.
Absolutely.
So here it will be able to do citations from the source rather than some random Google search results of sorts, right? I think that's a
because thing. As a human, you do have certain advantages because I do think that the knowledge which you build up over like many decades.
Yeah.
So somewhere in the back of your mind, it is somewhere present.
And your context is so much more wider. Like there is so much that, you can connect in your mind compared to AI, which is specific to one particular area.
Correct. But you forget that.
Yeah.
So if you have read a book, if I have read a book like, let's say 10 years back.
Yeah.
See, there's a book I had read about wealth, war and wisdom. It's by a guy called Barton Bix.
Okay.
He talked about how the markets behaved during World War II and what exactly happened. Let's say if you're on the winning side, US, UK, how you could have grown your money. Or let's say if you're on the losing side, you were like in Nazi Germany in 1930s or 40s. What should you have done during those days so that you could have actually preserved your wealth and grown?
Wow. Okay.
So the country actually lost the war.
But you are in a
have preserved the wealth.
Wow.
Those are interesting concepts, right? Now, I had to go back and reread that book. So I have this book somewhere here.
Yeah.
You can see that later. I had to read all the notes which I had done. So now I can actually do that a little bit better through AI. If I have things on Notebook, I can ask Notebook, hey, there are some underlinings I had done in some of the books.
Yeah.
Can you bring it up here? I want to understand the context. It'll bring up.
Yeah.
So those are like super interesting.
Yeah, and I feel the leverage that one can have who really knows very clearly what they want. With AI, it just takes it to the next level, right? Like
Correct. See, if you don't know what you're searching, nobody can help. But you know what you're searching. Then I think with AI, you can exactly search that particular thing.
And if you're also a subject matter expert in your field, and then you are asking AI to help you, you could pretty much gauge the response if it is as efficient or not. Because you know whether, it's in alignment with you.
Yeah, I did not know this term hallucination because AI models do hallucinate.
Yeah.
And they want to make you feel better.
Yeah.
So if
you are right. Yes, you're good answer.
They will try to give you like a super diplomatic answer, what I've seen.
Yeah.
But even the AI models you can train, you can actually make it like candid. Don't give me like bullshit answers.
Yeah.
Give me very crisp, precise answers. Don't give me color-coded ones.
Yeah.
Be very, very open, blunt.
You could actually do that in the custom instruction of the model itself.
Yes.
So if you and you don't have to prompt it every time. So once you put it in the custom instruction in the the model itself, it takes that as a instruction to follow for all future chats.
Yeah, I've
So,
done that myself.
you've done that, okay,
If you
okay.
go and ask ChatGPT about your own personality,
Yeah.
so you would be super surprised what it says about you.
Yeah.
I think you should do that. Go to ChatGPT or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
Gemini or whatever you're using,
Yeah.
Claude. And you can do it with all the three or even more.
Yeah.
Ask what is your personality? How do you learn?
Yeah.
How do you behave? And what do you think are your strengths and weaknesses? I think ChatGPT or any of these AI models have enough context, tell enough about you in a more detailed fashion.
And it'll help you also identify the gaps that you yourself are missing about yourself, like when you ask that question.
Absolutely.
Because it knows the patterns of queries that you would have posted to it over the last 1 year or so, right? Yeah. All right. Books has been very central to your life. I want to ask two questions. One is, what are 2 or 3 books which has been instrumental in shaping your thinking over the years? It could be any early books or it could be much later in life, but they have been very, very key in the way it has shifted your perspective of life. It need not be about finance. It could be anything.
We are Buffett and Munger fans, right? So we have to go there. No, truly, because see, I think some of the early biographies of Buffett. So, for example, The Snowball by, Alice Schroeder. And there is also a couple of other books on Buffett, Tap Dancing to Work and so on and so forth. Some of those are things which I really liked.
Yeah.
Those I think you should definitely read. In general, I like a lot of history books.
History
so
books,
to
yeah.
speak,
Yeah.
that is not in any way connected to finance.
But I think history books is the key to really understanding how the world works. I feel that edge you have because you read history quite a bit.
It could be so.
Yeah.
See, the early 1880s, 1890s, you had this period of robber barons.
Okay.
Where you had all these monopolies. JP Morgan, John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Henry Clay Frick, Jay Gould, John Mackey, all of these guys, they were like the industry captains during the late 1800s, okay, in the US, because that is when the industrialization really took hold. Some of those books, the biographies about them, it's a very wonderful read. So I would suggest anyone to read that if there is interest in learning about business and learning about how they set things. That and another period of time when I really like to read about more is World War II.
Okay.
Because if not for World War II, I don't think India would have got independence anytime soon, maybe 20-30 years later, but that hastened the whole thing. Right. So reading about World War and reading about things like Hitler, what he did, what he should not have done, how he could have actually won the war, for example. He was very close to winning the war. Right. If he only had done a few things right, he could have been the master of continental Europe. And probably it would have taken another 30-40 years for America, UK, all of those guys to come and dislodge a Third Reich. So some of those things are interesting reads, and I like to read about those periods a lot.
So are you also following up the recent wars also very closely? Are you monitoring that in that way?
Iran war, for example, most things are about money, oil and power, right? See, when US as a power is probably, I don't know how much percentage of the world GDP is US, maybe 25%, I would say. China would be 16 to 18%, maybe close to 20%, right? They are so close. And if you look at the influence US wields, it is a lot more than 25%, right? It is probably like the world leader.
Yeah.
And they don't want to go down in a smooth fashion. So, if you let it go, I mean, you would probably slightly decline, or you are slightly stable and you be there for a long period of time, and that would be the way to do it. I don't know what they are thinking. Sometimes you need to act your age as well, right? So if you are, let's say, a slightly older woman, let's say you're in 40s, you want to get married, you cannot act like a 20-year-old again.
Right.
You need to be that dignified 40-year-old woman who's looking at a match. I don't know.
I'm sorry if it is offended all the 40-year-old listening. So
no. I had nothing. I'm in my mid-40s as well. But of course, we need to act our age. I don't know if this is like the mid-age crisis which is acting out or what it is, but US certainly wants to, show that power. See, you always know that US is powerful. People want to go there, live
but they want to establish it, very viscerally in everybody's mind that...
You had these olden age empires which collected tributes. So, for example, in India, you had the Mughals, you had Vijayanagara Empire. So they collected tributes from their tributaries or, lesser known kings. So I think US is trying to do this tribute collection through tariff world over, because you are trying to collect, let's say, hey, I'm going to collect 10% from you, 20%, 15%. 30%. So I'm going to impose 50% tariff. So that means I am going to collect an amount of money from you because you are doing certain trading activity with me. I think it's a indirect way of collecting tribute, but I think there could have been a better fashion to do that. I don't know how he could have probably tried to organize. Instead of going outright against people, you need to take people along with you. I think that's probably not the US way. It's either my way or the highway. I don't know. I don't know how it works out.
All right. And maybe one of the last questions in this area would be, you feel very strongly and very optimistic about India's growth.
Absolutely. I'm like a super optimist.
Yeah. And the very fact that, you have doubled down, come down to India and, really building it right here in the countries, so you walking your talk. It's not like one of those good things to say about the country type.
You should always walk the talk now.
Yeah. So what do you see about India and its growth that you feel so optimistic about?
See, I think it is pretty well known. We should not restate the fact.
Yeah, no, but like we know that it's the youngest population, it's very English oriented and all that exists. What else do you see?
See, I'll give you some examples which can only happen in India. For example, Zepco Technologies, which is a company I have started, where we started this roughly 2.5 years back. So we have close to 60 people there. Nowhere else in the world. If I was in the US or if I was in Europe, if Ramesh was in US and let's say something is starting in US, you cannot in 2 years or 3 years ramp up to the level of 50, 60 people. It is only possible in India because the kind of manpower we have, the kind of talent pool we have, we can train the talent pool. That's only possible here. That's an example I'll give you why I'm optimistic. Number 2, you talked about the Iran war. We know the war. There is also the Operation Sindoor, which has happened quite recently.
Yeah.
The skirmish with Pakistan. And we have ongoing proxy wars all around the world. Let's say there is a war in Ukraine and Russia. There are a couple of other proxy wars which were happening in Middle East, now which has come to the fore. I think India is a country which has been a friend to most of these people. We have never really gone ahead and told that, hey, this is my side.
Yeah.
Okay? We've never said we are on the side of Russia. We've never said we are on the side of US. We've never said we are on the side of Iran. We are people who do not want to get entangled in other people's affairs. I think that for a long period of time has been one of the strengths of India. And I think that is probably going to be a very good foundation for the next generation to build upon.
That's a very interesting point. Yeah. So there is a very stable economy in the pipeline of sorts, you can say, because of it's a stable country.
Yeah, you're like a non-threatening thing, right?
Yeah.
If you look at China, for example, the US would say, hey, boss, all manufacturing is happening in China. Everything is moving there. You would not look at India like that. They're doing some ancillary manufacturing. They're doing some small assembly here. They do some iPhone assembly in the NCR region. They're not really a threatening factor.
Yeah.
Right? I think the good thing is we are not really threatening to anyone. And I think that's the best way to go forward. And maybe we are not threatening even after 20 years. I don't know. I mean, looking at an Indian in the room, nobody would feel threatened. I will say, okay, this guy, let me go and ask him some computer problem, right? If you're in the US. On the other hand, if you see like a tall, bearded Middle Eastern guy, like, oh my God, is this guy having something else?
I should be concerned about, yeah.
I think we are in general a non-threatening species.
With that, we come to the last segment of the podcast, which is the rapid fire round. So this is a fun and unpredictable segment where questions will be quick and answers also should be quick.
Correct.
All right. So we have 15 questions. What is a book that everybody praises, but you secretly found overrated?
I think Rich Dad, Poor Dad, maybe.
Oh, Robert Kiyosaki. Okay.
I really did not understand that much.
Okay. Yeah. You didn't find value in that book?
No,
though?
not really.
Okay. Interesting. A technology you believe is overhyped right now?
Overhyped?
Like everybody's saying,
maybe these fighter jets, 5th generation, 6th generation fighter jets.
Okay.
Maybe they become, you're having superior gadgets of a previous war. I don't think they are that big of a deal anymore.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And what do you think is replacing that, or it's or what do you think is like easy?
Autonomous, more intelligent drones. Things like missile technology, which is more cheaper and probably not like super long distance, but shorter distances in a regional scenario like in India, Akash systems and so on. I think they are like probably much more important and interesting. And radars, for example. Indian radars are probably one of the best in the world, I think, from a defense perspective. Some of those technologies would be more superior than fighter jets, very high costly gizmos. That's my personal feeling.
Okay, interesting. What is one industry that looks boring but excites you?
Solar.
Okay.
See, I've been a solar guy myself for a long period of time. It's no longer like the oomph factor. But if India needs to become energy independent, there are only 2-3 ways you can be that. One is either you start burning coal everywhere, left, right and center, or you have like hydropower like everywhere, left, right and center, or wind power. The only other thing is harnessing solar energy. Solar is nothing but a nuclear reactor very, very far away in the sun, and you are capturing that energy. That is a industry which is somewhat semi-commoditized now. But where it does have a lot more to go. The next decade will be a decade of energy within India, and all types of energy related aspects are something which I am super excited about. Generation, distribution, maintenance, software around it, all of those.
Interesting. Okay. What's a habit you wish you had started 10 years earlier?
Reading things in a very fast manner.
What do you mean by that?
I don't read end to end nowadays. I just skim through. Sometimes, these authors tend to repeat themselves a lot.
They make a point, like the entire...
Previously, I used to, if I'm reading something, I had to finish that before I go to something else. Now I feel free to just read the first chapter, just go to the last chapter, see what the guy has to say. If he's got nothing much to say, just move on. So I think that's a very simplistic answer.
What's a piece of advice you ignored initially, but later realized was correct?
Having patience.
Oh, really? I thought you were a patient person from the time I met you. Wasn't you not?
Yeah, I'm a very impatient guy initially.
Okay.
So I have to get things done right away, move on to the next thing. Keep doing things, run from here to there. I think you need to have a lot of patience, get to do the right things rather than getting to do more number of things.
Yeah, that's good. What triggered it for you to come to that realization?
Burnout. You're mostly, I think it's a realization from the corporate world where you're trying to do too many things because either you're trying to impress your boss, you're trying to impress your company, trying to get that next promotion, next hike, whatever it may be. Or trying to showcase certain things to other people as virtue signaling or so on. Sometimes these things don't really matter because those signals what you're trying to give out may not even be the right signals you have to give out.
Yeah, they're like the wrong proxies to...
Because, you may be playing certain game, but that game need not be played. In the first place.
That's very deep. Correct. I completely agree. Because we have subscribed to the belief that is a game we need to play. And then we are just playing the part.
But see, you may actually win a race. But you'll realize it was the wrong race.
Correct. You reached a destination which you never wanted probably.
So it's important.
Okay, if you could apprentice under one historical thinker for a year, who would it be?
Napoleon.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Why is that?
I'm a huge fan of Napoleon and the way he, from I don't know if it was 1760 when he was born, 1769 I believe. So he became the emperor of France by 1800, and by 1812 he had become like the master of Europe. And then by 1815 when Waterloo happened, he came down back again where he was sent to the island of Elba and later to the island of St. Helena. So Napoleon would be a guy I would love to learn from.
Wow. One thing I am very impressed with you is you recall dates and facts so precisely. How do you store this in your mind? Like, how are you so good with these facts?
No, because I was reading about this guy called John Baptiste Bernadotte.
Who's he?
Okay, it's the king of Sweden called Carl Johan. He's another guy who I would have loved to know him better or read something about him. I don't know if any of your Western audience can suggest a biography of Carl Johan.
Okay.
I would love to read that because it's only available in Swedish.
Ah.
So he was the only general or field marshal of Napoleon who took up to become the king of Sweden. And even today, they are the guys who are the titular heads of Sweden even today. So he was one of the marshals who became very popular, and he survived the Napoleonic era. So I was reading about him, so that's the reason I remember.
I think you definitely have a great interest in it, that's why I think you register these things also so well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm super interested in
it. Okay. A country that completely surprised you during your travels?
Israel.
Why?
I've been to Israel probably more than a dozen times. And Israel is one of the most beautiful places and remarkable set of people. You would see the confluence of 3 religions and 3 trade routes in Israel. Okay, the trade routes from Asia to Africa to Europe passes through the country of Israel. And you had the 3 major religions also have their initial period of coming out of age. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In Jerusalem, you would see all the 3 religions saying that this is their holiest place.
Interesting.
And the people are amazing. And in a war zone, it's a continuous war zone, so to speak. They have built a nation which is like, who would have thought that Jews, who are a very minority in the world, can build a country like that, which is one of the most powerful countries in the world today, where they would have spruced up Trump enough to attack Iran. A small sliver of an land would have got Trump to take their bait. Well, the past maybe 10 presidents in the US may not have taken the bait. They have got him to take the bait and attack Iran. So the country of Israel is the close second would be Singapore, but that is for another day.
Okay. A simple daily routine that keeps your mind sharp.
Listen to podcasts of interesting people first thing in the day.
Okay.
So
what are your go-to podcasts that you enjoy?
Anything about history, anything about finance, even about farming, for example.
Okay.
I like to listen to gardening tips, for example. I like to garden, any of these things.
So which are the podcasts that you listen to? You want to share?
There is a guy who talks about various businesses.
Okay.
Forgotten the guy's name. He talks about, I think maybe I've told you and both of us listened to that podcast.
Oh, no, Founders is one.
Founders podcast.
Yeah. Founders is,
Founders.
like he talks about all the history's great entrepreneurs, basically.
Founders podcast.
Founders is brilliant.
Podcast. Yeah. Founders is the one which I tried to touch upon if he has something new. There are some podcasts which people have started doing about finance in India. I don't remember the names. I've subscribed to most of these guys. So I tried to go through that. Yeah, there is a gardening channel. I don't think most people would really look at listening to that. It's a Kannada one.
Okay.
It's a guy called Timmaya who talks about gardening.
It's a video podcast or is it an audio podcast?
It's a video YouTube.
Nice.
I tried to listen to him about how he tries to grow different types of farms.
Wow, okay.
I like to listen to that. In terms of history, I am just re-listening to the Epic TV, Epic History. He talks about various wars. So I have started re-listening to that. There is also a recent one on World War II, which I just listened to. There were 2 guys who talked about World War II week by week. I completely re-listened to that. Just got over like 2-3 months back.
Okay.
So some of these things I keep listening to.
What's the best question someone ever asked you?
What are your incentives to do something? If you're doing something.
Yeah.
Let's say you are trying to, I'm trying to do this PMS. What are my incentives? Why am I trying to do that? Some people are very blunt in coming to the question of incentives. I think those are the questions which really come to the fore. Coming to the core of why are you doing something?
Yeah. Because it just cuts all the fluff and,
coming to the point.
The meat of the thing. And it triggers you to think more precisely why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. What are your incentives to do something?
Okay, that's a powerful question, actually.
Yeah.
What is a small decision that ended up shaping your life?
Oh, small decision? There are 2-3 small decisions.
Yeah.
See, there are 3 questions which I think, who was it? I don't know who just picked it up. Who you are with, where you are, and what you do. Those are the three
I think
decisions.
Naval Ravikant was telling, I think.
Maybe it is Naval Ravikant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those are the key questions. Who you are with is basically who you're married. That is super important.
Super important.
I'm in India, and this is a decision I made.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a really super decision to come back to India. Third one is, what are you doing? I only do things with people who I like. And where I'm involved in any activity, I want to be involved with people I like. So I think those are super important ones.
Are you a coffee or a tea person?
Coffee person.
Coffee person. A hobby people would not expect you to have. Gardening.
I'm a very heavy gardener.
I should have got the clue when you said you're starting to listen to gardening podcasts. When did you develop this interest?
During COVID.
Okay.
Maybe I had a green finger even before COVID. But during COVID, I had time on hand, and I have like a small terrace in my apartment. So I have a terrace, and I have like more than 1,000 pots there.
Wow.
So
really? That's a lot of plants, and you're personally involved in looking after these plants?
Yeah. I've planted every single one of them, and I've killed quite a few, and I have got to know how to take care of plants.
Okay. That definitely speaks. You're very interested in that. The most unusual place where you got a business idea?
Train. Yeah.
Tell me exactly what happened.
See, I used to travel between Bangalore and Chennai because I had some work in Chennai. I was consulting for a Indian conglomerate which was based in Chennai, and going on Vande Bharat trains, I got to know that trains are going to be the next big thing. And my idea of investing into IRFC, Rail Vikas Nigam Limited, Jupiter Wagons, all of those came from there. And within a year, all of those were like 10x.
Wow. How did you feel train is going to be the next big thing? How did that thought occur?
I see, if I had to go from here to the airport, in Bangalore, it takes a couple of hours.
Yeah.
You have to spend half an hour there in the airport, and then you take a flight to Chennai, which is like probably 45 minutes. Let's say it is an hour, end to end. And then you again spend time going from the outskirts of the city in Chennai to the place where I had to go.
Yeah.
So it is overall taking you between 6 to 7 hours, and that too at an odd time. So instead of that, taking a Vande Bharat, which is going to take you 5 hours or 5.5 hours, going in the morning and coming back in the evening. So that I thought that it's going to revolutionize the whole thing.
Okay.
I started thinking very deeply about trains. I read a lot about railways in the US, the kind of network India has.
If you weren't working in technology or investing, what would you be doing?
Historian.
What does a historian do? They study history and
study
speak about it.
You know, maybe I would have been super interested in, reading more deeply about Vijayanagara Empire, Indian history maybe. So I'm even today deeply interested in Indian history.
You should start a podcast on history.
Well, why don't we do that together?
I have zero connection with history, but I can definitely help you make that. Yeah, we could think about it actually. Yeah, let's talk offline on that. One everyday object whose design you deeply admire.
Object.
It's an everyday object whose design you deeply admire. Anything comes to mind?
I'm fascinated with my phone, which I carry. Though I don't deeply admire it anymore.
You appreciate the fact that there is a device in hand which can do so much more, like that.
I think the object which I really like to keep it with me is like increasingly the phone.
Yeah.
Without the phone, you're like, how did I even live without this device?
Yeah.
So you want it, you don't want it, you hate it, you don't hate it. It's like a necessary evil.
Yeah.
So I deeply admire the phone, though I don't actively admire it. Subconsciously, I do.
Okay. All right, Harsha. This has been a wonderful conversation. We definitely speak a lot of things offline, but to get you to sit with me and then, eat your brain on questions that I specifically wanted to have the conversation about and then sharing it with the world, that is something which brings me a lot of joy. And you're one of the, few friends who's one of the sharpest minds and really bright in areas that you're interested in. So I really appreciate you taking the time to discuss.
Yeah, that's Manoj saying I'm dumb in most things and
Shut
really sharp in few things.
So
thank you, Manoj.
Yeah,
I think I enjoyed it as well, equally.
Thank you, Harsha. So if people want to check out more of you, where can they connect with you? And, do you have any social handles that people should check out?
So I have my PMS website.
Okay.
It's dwightfunds.com.
Okay.
DWAITHFUNDS.com. And they can also look at my Twitter handle. It's Harsha's Point.
We will put that in the show notes. So, but which is the socials where you are active most?
I think I'm not a very social person, as you know.
Yeah. But
Maybe
I think
LinkedIn or Twitter, maybe.
I think LinkedIn, Twitter gives a good overview of what you're currently doing. But some of his writings on his blog is interesting. I think I'll like people to go check them out, and I would encourage him to write more frequently.
Oh, yeah. So I have a blog which I have kept standing for more than 20 years now. It's harshav.blogspot.com. So nothing has changed there. It's been there for like more than 20 years. And I try to make it a point to write at least 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah. So I think we'll put that in the show notes as well. And with that, it was wonderful, Harsha. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj.
All right, that concludes this episode. Hopefully you had fun listening to it. If you really want to get access to the show notes, make sure to go to my website, www.rareerth.com. That is www.rareerth.com. Yeah, it does not have an A in it. And you could also subscribe to my weekly newsletter, which is called as One Idea. Once you're on my website, you can see a link to subscribe to the newsletter as well. That's it for now. See you on the next episode.